All right. Again, hello to everyone. We are here at Overjam Festival. We are talking with, of course, Jahcoustix and members of what band?
Jamaram.
Jamaram. That's right. Hello, guys. How are you? How are you feeling?
We're very happy to be here. It's been quite some time, and we arrived yesterday in Slovenia, so we had like a little chill out. And now today we used the beautiful sunshine, to check Socha a little bit, and yeah, now we're here and ready to go on stage again.
All right. How was your travel here? Was it good?
It was good. We had a very mountainous, hilly ride. Like between here and where we live, there's a lot of mountains, and we couldn't go around them, so because it would take too long. So we went over them and through them, and it was very like this. And then like at some point there was like a really curvy road that just went down, but it went up first, really curvy, but then it also went back down, really curvy. And I sat in the back of the bus, which like jumps around a lot, and the curves.
With your belly.
So I was just like going like this.
So you did your
For 2 hours. Wait, I'm not done. And my manager, she was the driver, and she was driving because she would get sick from driving these curves. But she got me sick driving those curves the way she did. And I arrived, and my whole body was like, it's like, yeah. So the trip was great.
Yeah, so you arrived here safe and sound.
Yeah.
You are all good, smiling. Of course, we expect a show from you. What will we see on stage?
Yeah, well, you will see Jamaram meets Jahcoustix. So we gather energies, songs, powers, vibes. And that was the idea we initially had for 220, actually, because one of the singers of Jamaram, he took a band sabbatical for 1 year, so we teamed up for this out of this reason. And we were supposed to play shows in this constellation already, and now everything was postponed. And so we're happy to be finally here to play festivals again this summer, So.
All right. So where did you link up? Where did you?
We've known each other for such a long time.
We've known each other for a long time. We used to live in the same city in Munich, in Germany, and that's where we met. That's where you started with your first band, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we started our band. So
20 years.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Today. No, not today, but 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. So yeah, we started when we were 12. Now we're 32. And
we've seen each other's transformations.
Yeah,
so
we've seen everything.
All right.
And so we know each other very well. And what was the question?
So 20 years in the musical business, guys. 20 years. Okay, what is the secret?
Do you know the secret?
The secret for being in the business for 20 years.
It's good. Yeah. To stay together in a big band, you need good anger management concepts. And so it's really the thing, obviously everyone's angry. You need a good anger management concept, but also you need the goal, right? So when we're on stage, then we realize why we go through all this shit. Of course we fight a lot and have discussions and everything. But we found after a while that it's good to say honestly, straight away, what's on your mind. And also maybe constructive criticism, not always bashing. But at the end of the day, it's the show that counts. After the show is before the show. When we're up on stage, we're like, yeah, okay, all right.
It's like family business, I mean, we, especially in the beginnings, we spend a lot of hours on highways, going from city to city, playing clubs, and that's why it's like you're on each other all the time. That's why he's very right, you need to find a way how the communication and peaceful vibes stay, but it's I've never really had a lot of issues with that somehow, we're all like, we make positive music, so that's always like what you get in response,
That's the let's say how the whole story started.
It's two stories.
It's basically two stories, I mean, I've been like, we met 20 years ago in Munich. Prior to that, all these guys, most of them grew up in Munich. That's where they founded the band, right? I grew up internationally, was spending a lot of time in Africa when I was a youth, and when basically when we reached that age where we would decide, okay, we love making music and we want to like kind of go for it, that's basically the time when we met, when both bands were founded in Germany by coincidence, or however you want to name it. Like we met, and then Destiny, everybody
But
started
then we
going
both
on
went
tour.
our own path. Like Jahcoustix has been on his path for 20 years, and we have been on our path for 20 years. And we met all the time because we're in the same genre. So obviously you sort of meet on festivals, and we knew each other from way back in the day. We've seen all our transformations, but really having to know each other for that long, it was very easy to start this project now. And now the time was sort of like perfect for it. So that's how the whole thing came about. And it's like, I mean, last year not much happened. It was supposed to happen this year. It's happening today. And we're looking very much forward to it. Can't wait to spread some good vibes and put some sunshine into people's hearts.
We cannot wait for you. I mean, for us to hear it, man.
Yeah.
Because we need that sunshine and good vibes.
Yeah, you know, it's a very nice mix, because Jamaram is known to be like not like a classic reggae band. They would like mix a lot of genres into their music, which like broadened like the picture that they would send out. I would always be a very core roots rock reggae artist, also with the bands that I've been playing over the years, and so like bringing these two things together is dynamic. So you will see that tonight. It's a good combination.
Where's the name? Where's the Jamaram name?
It came from ramming a jam into someone. Yeah, love that. It's like you know, you want a jam?
Yes.
Here, I'm ramming this jam right into you. Ram, jammed, jam a ram. One guy from England once said to me, "Hey, is it from putting jam on a ram? You know, like a ram?" I was like, "I thought it was jam a ram." And I was like, "No, that's not it."
Funny, man.
Ram on the jam.
Yes.
And it really, I mean, just like, in all honesty, it came from like we used to only jam on stage.
Yeah.
Like there was never like a song. We never rehearsed. We would just always improvise on stage the first years, and that's how that came. And then at some point we were like, hey, maybe we should make a song. And then we made songs. But that's where that comes from. It comes from jamming.
Yeah, and actually, like in these times, you know, when we all actually got started, that was the nice thing, you know, like Overjam used to be the Socha Reggae River Splash, like many, many years ago. And I think like the first time I played here was in 2003. And you guys, what about you guys? A year later, maybe?
Yeah, a year later, probably, something like that.
So it was really cool to see that, like, also, like, even still with Overjam now, you know, years later, you can see that there's always, like, there's an emphasis on, like, bringing, like, a nice mix of local bands and, like, bringing, like, headliners, if you want, like that. And, you know, when we first played here, you know, we were, like, the opening acts, you know, and now we can play, like, co-headliner slots. So it's these festivals that have been there for such a long time and that we've played over the years are always like such a nice way to see where the bands have gone all over the years, and it kind of makes you appreciate even more that like all the hard work that you put into it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. I have to ask you, the COVID times and everything, the lockdowns. How did you manage it? How did you cope with all this?
I don't believe it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. There was no lockdown. There was no lockdown. Yeah.
He started making parties, illegal ones.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, coronavirus from Wuhan, right next to the Corona factory. Hello. Is that a coincidence? I think not. If there's like a huge chocolate, if there's a lot of chocolate in the streets, a flood of chocolates, in like a city where there's a chocolate factory, maybe it was a bat who had sex with a mouse and then was eaten by a human. Maybe. Or maybe it was the chocolate factory. Maybe. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, but seriously, guys, I'm gonna go back in 20 years. A lot of you guys, you have families and stuff and things. So, how did you handle it over these 20 years?
What I realized, like with ever since COVID started, is that we have a lot of colleagues and musician friends who live in Bulgaria, Slovenia, Greece, Spain, Germany, you name it. And like the perspective on how like artists had to deal with the situation, also like on a financial aspect is very, very different, you know. So I can only speak for myself when I say, okay, I had a lot of quality time with my kids or my kid. You know, I had time to shift the focus on projects that I was going to do in the future. For instance, I made like a children's music album, just using the time and staying positive, you know, because there was not so much we could really do. We could not force ourselves back on stage, you know, we could not do a lot of things. But I think generally in life, when unexpected difficulties arise in life, what can you do to solve it? The most easy way is to have a positive approach.
Yeah, I mean, we used it also creatively, like the time. For the first month, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do a ton of yoga, and then it'll be over, and I'll be really strong. But then the month was over, but Corona was not over, was just getting started, and so after I was shocked. I really was shocked because we were going to be on tour all summer, do like 100 shows. It didn't happen. It was a shock for me, and it took me personally 3 months to understand. Okay, maybe you should just take your guitar and sit somewhere every day for a few hours and just write songs and stuff. Maybe you could use it creatively. I'm very slow to understand things are happening sometimes, but I did get it at one point. And I think, our fear was at some point, I was making an album with other musicians. In last winter, our fear of all the musicians was like, maybe at the end of the Corona crisis, everyone comes out of their basement is a much better musician, and maybe we have to maybe everyone's going to be really good now. Oh no, you know, watch out, now I have to practice too. So that was sort of a fear. I mean, the whole financial thing was a disaster. I think in Germany we were kind of lucky because we had governmental help from the government. I mean, it's not enough to raise a family or support a family, I'll tell you that much, but yeah, at least something. And yeah, so
it depends, let's say like that, like artists like us, you know, like I totally agree with you, like all the artists in Germany, they were much better off, like that's why I said, like, with comparing it to the colleagues in other European countries. But you know, just using the time and having the you know, just being there and making the best of it was the only thing we could do.
But anyway, let's forget COVID. You are back on stages. You are back to doing what we love. How does it feel for you? How was it for you to come back on stage?
Yeah, it was unreal. Like the first shows, everyone was with masks. We in the band weren't even like touching one another. But still, we were on stage, so we were like, wow, a stage, wow, a sound system. Okay, it's streaming, but it doesn't matter, you know, baby steps. And then like the first shows when it was maybe without mask, and at least in the band we could say hello, and there were actually people in front of us who were like, yes, people, and it was only like 20 people. But then, like just last week, we played our first festival with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people in front of us, no masks. No one with masks anywhere, and it was like a dream. It was like walking on a cloud. Yeah, it's crazy.
Honestly,
beautiful.
I was like very scared in the beginning, like because like I had stayed home for so long that like when I saw like other people around me, I got like social anxiety. I don't know if you guys have that, but for me it's really weird to like be here breathing all of your air.
Locked at home so many times.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's just gonna add like to the whole mix and readiness of the people to like have an explosive party tonight and this whole festival weekend. I think the people are really ready to come back out of their caves and celebrate life. Yeah,
super hungry.
Sure. I hope so.
I think you're gonna see that tonight because
we're definitely really looking forward to making music, you know, and we've got some shows still coming up. We'll see how it's gonna be like in autumn and winter time, you know, but we're like, let's live today and just rock the house.
Let's talk about future plans.
Okay, let's live today and rock the house.
Yeah.
About music, about the project, about is there any new?
The future.
Yeah. So what's with my future?
The band future. What is the new project?
Well, we did camps.
So we got some stuff that we're working on. We actually, the Corona time, we used it to be creative. We wrote Actually, we wrote like over 100 songs and song sketches, and hopefully there will be like 5 good songs in there somewhere that we can like release over the winter. We wrote some stuff with Jahcoustix together. We're gonna do like a Jahcoustix combination. That's gonna be coming out hopefully this fall, maybe a bit later, maybe a bit earlier. You're just gonna have to stay up to date. Follow us on Spotify, and then you'll get all the notifications. But yeah, that's like just a bunch of creative work is coming up. We have also another project with a Spanish singer and songwriter called what's his name? Jahcoustix from Formentera.
Yeah.
And we're actually making an album with him too. That also went slow because of Corona. That's going to be coming out sometime. So we got a bunch of stuff coming out. We're just like happy to make music and write songs. I've got my solo album coming out, Sammy Danger. I wrote that this last year too. So definitely being productive. And
Because we know the Jamaram band is not just a reggae.
Oh no. Like my stuff is like rock and blues and folk and indie pop and stuff like that. And I mean, Jamaram's always mixed it all up. We've done Balkan beats, we've done like Latino,
You'll get the
Latin,
proof tonight.
Afro beats.
You know,
You'll hear it
tonight. It's gonna be like you'll get the full scale.
Yeah, but it's fun to play like at a reggae festival with Jahcoustix because he's such a reggae god. That it's like that it's just like, you know, we finally feel like everyone accepts us because we have him now.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
This is the respect after.
Yes.
Finally.
Well, guys, basically, I just want to thank you for taking the time, man. Our pleasure.
All right. Okay, people, check out Reggae.Si. Finest information about reggae music and culture that you can find in Slovenia. Right, Jamaram?
This is the Jamaram band and Jahcoustix. We approve of this message.